I just saw the Defiant Ones, the HBO documentary about Jimmy Iovine and Dr. Dre and sort of the evolution of the music industry from their perspective and their partnership. It was really, really fucking good. You should definitely see it. I spent the past 10 years working in the music industry with Motown and Sylvia Rhone. Our competitors, LMFAO, signed with Interscope and Jimmy Iovine. I think that our career would have been different if we'd signed with Jimmy Iovine, but the cool thing about Jimmy Iovine is that he's a producer. He listens, he understands music, so he's not coming from a suit business perspective. So when he signs something, it's more about the art and more about the music. So that's, I think, what made him a great record label owner, because he is, and first and foremost, is a musician. So he understands that's what you're there to do, is put out good music. Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine both come from, they're basically the same person, but they come from different, entirely different sides of the country and different races. Jimmy's Italian, New York Italian white dude from the street. Dre's a black dude from Compton, East Coast, West Coast. They both are producers. They both started record labels, and then they became partners. So as you're watching this, you kind of realize, oh wow, these guys are actually, Dre is actually not so much of an artist as he is a producer, and signed acts like Eminem and 50 Cent. He ended up working for Jimmy. I think Jimmy is, in my opinion, more, I think that he's more accomplished than Dre, and Dre ended up actually working for him. It actually felt a little bit weird that they were comparing Jimmy to Dre. Jimmy had worked with, Jimmy was working with Tom Petty, Stevie Nicks, Bruce Springsteen, U2, and as the documentary is progressing, you have him working with those types of artists, and Dre's still in NWA, and they still are talking about the NWA thing, which is kind of like, we've seen that movie. I think we might be taking some of that stuff to Agenda. Oh. And this is pretty loud. You know what I mean? Like, we're doing this and that's, but I think the fucked up part is you're gonna keep going. This is good.
It's going.
The fucked up part is that loud noise interrupted this, but the funny part is I think that we're actually bringing that stuff to Agenda. I mean, is that Power Strip? What Power Strip is that? Is that the Power Strip that Rudy took?
It's two of the white ones?
One of those belongs in the studio.
Oh, I think it's this one.
So let's bring that to Agenda. Okay, so it's really fucking good. They're both super driven, emotionally fucked up people, I think, like any super successful person is. Like, they're driven by insecurity. Bruce Springsteen actually says that, which is, I think that's the more interesting part of the documentary, is that I don't know that either one of them are really actually happy after achieving so much success, because that's what drives you to keep going, is because it's never good enough, whatever is. It seemed like Dre kind of was able to pause for a second and live his life, which might have been the reason he didn't put out Rehab. Jimmy wasn't able to do that, therefore had to divorce his wife. I think the reason that, whatever, that's kind of more of an emotional thing, but I don't know, it's also a part of it too. He started Beats by Dre because he was miserable and needed to do something. He dove so far into his work and created Beats, which turned out to be the biggest, highest grossing thing ever in the music industry. I mean, it was a multi-billion-dollar. Beats started out as headphones and became a multi-billion-dollar brand, cultural, influential brand, lifestyle. It wasn't just headphones. It was beats music. It was beats. It was everything. It was in every video. It was a big enough brand to sell $3.2 billion for $3.2 billion to Apple Music, and that partnership is sort of the end of this long story between Jimmy and Dre partnering. I think that like the beginning is like them coming from nothing and being producers, and the end is they partner, create beats, and merge with Apple. And now Jimmy Iovine runs Apple Music, which is a streaming service. That's the evolution of the record industry. It was really good. I think you should see it. Anyone that's 20, any millennial out there that sees it might understand what music was and what it is now, and it's just not. It's definitely not the same. I'm looking for Bob Lefsett's review on the internet, on the Defiant Ones. The internet killed the music business. That's right, it wasn't only about recording revenues, it was about ubiquity. Walk into an executive's office in the 90s and MTV was on. That's what broke Dre, Big, Rap 2. Sure, Jimmy got Snoop and Dre on the cover of Rolling Stones, but even though that rag is a shadow, okay, I don't know what the fuck he's even talking about. Okay, so basically Suge Knight's a bitch. Dre left and signed Eminem and 50 Cent, and he won and partnered up with Jimmy, and so yeah. I mean,
how many like out of 10?
So the Defiant Ones, I mean, that's gonna get a 9. I mean, I think that I like to do reviews, and I have a Twitter. My Twitter account is right here. It's a Ridge production, but it's at Preston Maroney, and I've been doing movie reviews for years. I haven't reviewed this. It's not actually a movie, but I would give it a fucking 90%. It's a 4-part. I'm gonna actually do that right now. It's a 4-part documentary, but it's fucking incredible, and it was just done really, really, really fucking well. It was shot really well, and the way that they fused these two people's lives from beginning to end was incredible. Thanks. Stay tuned for the next review, Ridge review.